ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. If you only knew the power of God's
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Welcome to LightSaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show on the web. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you will be notified of all of our future episodes. Also, don't forget to press that like button. It helps get these videos in front of other Star Wars fans so they can get in on the outrageousness. So how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Decent.
Wow, that was very exciting. Y'all supposed to be like, it's fucking LightSaber Radio. Obi-Wan Kenobi was on. This is wrong. We're talking about light. Yeah.
Better?
That was like, yeah, that was bad. What's going on, Chris?
Wednesday.
What's going on, Star Wars team leader? How you guys doing? Okay, we got to get right into Kenobi because there was some things that I liked. And there were some things that really, really disappointed me in this episode. But first, I want to hear what you guys think. What y'all think of this episode?
I loved it. I don't know. It's my favorite so far.
I
I'm not
definitely
gonna
like
go
it.
that far. I'm not gonna go that far. I'm saying it's my favorite.
Yeah, Chris, it says
You
Tori.
spelled my last name wrong. It's with 2 T's. There's 2 T's at the end of Elliot.
Hey, Chris,
No,
you're
the
going to have to
last-
come on the show. You want to come on the show one day? Chris, we are formally inviting you on the show. Do you want to come on the show? We're just going to bring everybody on the show. We're going to bring all of our guests on the show.
At least once.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we going to intermingle.
We're either gonna argue and hate each other and lose a fan, or we're gonna love each other. That's how this is gonna go. We're either gonna be fist fighting or just laughing. Either one works. I don't care. It makes for good content either way. But not the point. I'm not gonna go as far as saying this is my favorite episode. I just like Kenobi in this episode in general. Just the things that he did. I don't care what Kyle says or what he's about to say, because I know how he feels. We kind of discussed this before we hopped on, and he's going to get to great length after I stop opening my mouth. All I've got to say is the fact that the lights turned down, lightsaber, dead trooper, lightsaber off, lightsaber, dead trooper, lightsaber off. Thought that was fucking fantastic. I loved the shadow, the whole like, oh shit, where'd that come from? And boom, scary movie aspect of it all.
A
Yeah.
little psychological warfare.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing, especially coming from Kenobi because he's just such a tacticianer.
It
So
was more like him. Like he seemed more like himself in this episode.
Yes, I do give. I will say that that's why I named it "The Force is with him." That's why I named this episode that "The Force is with him" because he got the Force back. Because he was like dueling against Vader. He just looked fucking terrible. Like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, are you even gonna try?
It was rough.
That was bad. I understand he was in shock when he was fighting Vader. Like this is Anakin, but still at the same time, like at least pinch the bitch, mug. Goddamn, man, what the fuck are you doing? Jesus, did you just get your ass whooped? You ain't even trying. So what'd you think about the episode, Tori?
I liked it. I didn't necessarily like how it ended. I mean, I called it as soon as Vader said Reva said what she said to Vader. I knew exactly what had happened. And I wasn't enthused that Lola is now being used for evil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a great.
but
That was a great plot twist, though. That was like.
It was.
perfect.
I liked it for that plot twist, but I didn't like it because, like, come on, don't attack the little girl and her best friend. Leave her alone. But I definitely liked the growth that Kenobi had. He went from, he battled Vader. He was in that shock of, I thought my Padawan, my brother, my best friend, I had thought I killed him. I'm going to have to do this all over again. Now I'm facing him again. first fight in 10 years, and it's the person who I thought I killed the last time. So I liked that kind of growth that we saw through him, from not being able to do shit with Vader to being able to hold up that whole wall of water from killing him and Leia, and I can't remember her name. The spy.
I was going to say
whatever.
Lieutenant.
Yeah, but I liked it. It was. I definitely like it a lot better than the other ones. It was a little bit slower, but in the same parts, not.
Okay.
Here we go.
Dun dun dun.
The story was good. Okay, the story was good. I didn't mind the story at all. I liked how what the hell's the girl's name? What is her name?
Tala.
Tala. Thanks, Chris.
What is
Chris.
it? Yeah,
Tala.
Tala. I liked the way
her.
that Tala flipped sides, but didn't really flip sides. She was like a double agent. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed like the work up to getting there. You know, I liked how when they brought in O'Shea, how he did his part. I liked all this. I liked a lot of it. I liked that they put in the little thing, the New Hope, with the leaving the communicator right there on the corner while she takes care of the dude in the back. Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's nobody else around. Did nobody else hear her whooping his ass? Like, I didn't get that. But now, what I didn't like, I did not like any of the choreographing that they did for the fight scenes with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, that shit was terrible. Like, one point, he just holds the lightsaber up in the air, and the stormtrooper shoots at him 4 times, and he don't even move. He just hold it like the stormtrooper shooting the lightsaber. Like, why are you not shooting him? Shoot him. Like, what are you shooting at? And that shit just, like, that whole choreographed part was just terrible. That whole scene, that whole complex, that shit was garbage. That shit was so bad. Like, that was probably some of the worst Star Wars that I ever seen in the history of. I would rather watch Boba Fett than that shit ever again. The whole episode, though, I liked the episode. I'm not going to say I didn't like the episode. The episode was good. But that fight scene was just garbage. And then the other problem that I had was at the beginning, he couldn't even get the little thing to slide across the table very. He was struggling to do that, but you hold up all this goddamn water. Millions and billions of gallons of water, and you holding this shit up, but you couldn't even get the little thing. You struggled to hold Leia up when she was falling. He was struggling. But I also understand, and I have to give part to that he's getting the Force back, you know, and that's why I named the episode "The Force is with him," because he's getting it back. But that fight scene, that whole thing was that was the most worst choreographed shit that I had ever seen. Like, 2 stormtroopers are standing 5 feet from behind him, and he's fighting the probe droid, and they're shooting at him, and neither one of them can hit him in the back. Like, dude, what the hell? Like, I know stormtroopers is bad, but that's just terrible. Y'all just made that shit way too just not believable at all. Like, at least if one of them, like, would have skinned his arm, you know what I'm saying? You know, just got a little blaster, just singe on his arm or something, that would have been more realistic. Like, he escaped all them stormtroopers, probe droid shooting out without even being scathed, and like the sword wasn't even, the lightsaber wasn't even moving barely at all. I was like, this is terrible. This has got to be, like, I don't know who the hell thought this scene up, but you ain't dropped the ball on the acting on this scene. It just was not good. Like, dude, this is terrible. But other than that, I like the rest of the episode. Everything else. One thing that made me mad is I really wanted to see Vader kill Reva. I really wanted to see that. When he had her up in there, I was like, kill her. She's my favorite actor. Out of everybody on this whole fucking series, she is my favorite person, but you got to kill her. You know what I'm saying? That's what Vader said. You fuck up, I got to kill you. And he had her up there, and I thought, yes, he's going to kill her because she's a bitch. And I need her to die, but I don't want her to die because she's my favorite. But at the same time, she needs to die because I'm tired of her smart ass mouth. And I want her to die. And then he let her go. And I was like, oh, man, damn, we got to see her again. She going to do some more evil shit because she just evil.
I'm sorry. All I got to say is when Vader came storming in, I'm laying there with Tori Watson. Like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Like, he came in mean. I was like, hey, watch this.
Yep.
Dude, I was scared for her, and I wanted her to die because, like, dude, people don't understand. Reva is playing, like, Moses is playing this fucking part so damn good, it makes you hate her. Like, I hate her. Like, I don't like you. Who's gonna kill her? Come on, Vader, kill her. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't really want her to die because I want to see her in the next episode because she's that good of an actor and she's playing that part. Like, she's making you want to, you just, like, dude, somebody fucking cut her head off, dude. Something like, dude, she is, like, the way she was talking to Leia, like, you evil bitch. This is a 10-year-old, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, God.
She was ready to poke Leia's eyes out with that.
Yeah.
Kyle,
But-
do you smell toast? You
Huh?
stuttered a lot. Do you smell toast?
No, I don't smell toast. No, I just, because, like, I am, like, she is, like, I don't care what nobody says. Like, acting-wise, out of everybody on this show, she is the most believable character out of everybody. She's fucking killing it. But,
Yes,
and
she is.
that's why it, it's making me, I hate her because she's so damn good at playing this part.
Mm-hmm.
She is so believable. Like, nope, like, there's not too many actors that are, when they act out a part, you know that they're just acting. She's actually making me be like, oh, kill her ass. Somebody kill her. Kenobi, cut her head off. Vader, choke the shit out of her. Do something. Because she is just evil. Like, and she's so believable. She is so believable. Like, you really believe, like, that's her. Like, if you've seen her on the street and, like, well, seeing in the videos and some of the stuff she's done on TikTok and stuff, she's the nicest person in the world. Like, how can you be that nice of a person in the world? Like, even with all the hate and shit that she's got, she's like, y'all are weird. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's like, she's just a nice person. And then to see her acting as Reva, it's like, Jesus Christ, she's so goddamn good because I can't stand Reva. Like, Reva is just so fucking evil. And I'm an evil person. I go with the Sith. But Jesus Christ, like, damn, you are so freaking, like, just conniving and just evil, like. But she's making the episode. She's making she's been my favorite part of every episode that's been on. She has been my favorite. Like, I know that they're gonna kill her at some point. Vader's gonna kill her because she's not in anything other than Kenobi. I mean, now that we know that there's a possible number 2, she might make it through the season, but like before they did season 2, unless they have like a separate, which I know that they do that sometimes, they'll film 2 or 3 different endings or whatever. But from the point forward, everybody knew the way that she was going to die by the end of season 1. So unless they change it and we get her in season 2, but I'm like, dude, I just want everybody to kill her because she's just so damn evil. Like I would marry her, just like she would be my 6th queen. Like, that's how dope she is. She's killing it in this, and I don't like.
Yeah.
She makes me want. That's who makes me want to watch Kenobi on Wednesday. It's not you and it's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to watch her. I want to see what fucking crazy antics and conniving shit she does next. The way she was trying to manipulate Leia was just phenomenal. And then I love the way that Leia's like, I gotta tell my dad first. You know, we're all in this together. Like, oh, like, that's Princess Leia. That's some shit Carrie Fisher would say on screen. That is her as a child. Mm-hmm. They're the 2 best so far. And I'm so happy because it kind of sucks about that they're not. I thought it was going to be more focused on Luke. And it kind of sucks that it's not, but I really like the way that they took the episodes. Like, it's more based on Leia because everybody assumed that it was going to have more to do with Luke. We all thought that. I don't know anybody that I've talked to that said, oh, no, this is going to be all about Leia. Like, we've had 3 episodes about Leia. 4 episodes because they brought her out in the beginning of the last episode or the beginning of the first episode. So basically 4 episodes has been about Leia. It's not been about Luke. And I like that they did that.
So do I.
It really makes, it was a twist that I just didn't expect. And I like that. That's something I like. The series overall has been great so far. I just did not like the way they choreographed this fight scene. That was just fucking terrible.
All I've got to say is my favorite part is after he does all that, he does his stance, and then he's like, oh shit, we got to keep going. Like, Yeah, Kenobi, you can't just pose every time you do something badass. Like, we get it. You're a badass. Calm down.
I just think of Black Widow when her sister is giving her shit about her stance. Why do you do that every time?
Do what?
I did, and I do that fight where he takes out the 2 stormtroopers and the thing. That was phenomenal. That was so good the way he shut the lightsaber off so the stormtroopers didn't know where he was at, and the dude's like, "No, don't move, stay, you can't escape," and like that shit was awesome. Another thing I didn't like, that had to be the dumbest shit I ever seen, was when they're walking out.
Yes.
And he has the coat over, like, they can't see her feet. They're like, what the hell? Like, that shit is retarded. Like, and they just walk by 2 Inquisitors and they didn't nobody see this. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's the most retarded shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck?
Made a comment about that.
Yes.
Like,
so
it was
my
like,
husband.
I was just like, what the hell? Like, Jesus. Like, y'all couldn't come up with something better than that. Like, put her in a tray and roll her out, or like something. Like, you just walking out with a coat over. I was like, that is terrible.
I laughed so hard.
When I did too, when that happened, I looked over at CJ and I was like, it reminds me of kids trying to sneak into like a rated R movie.
He could have like picked her up and like wrapped the coat around her and made it like look like his belly or something. Like, there was so much you could have done there.
Like what? Like put her in one of the little transport carts that they, you know, one of the little hover carts and hovered her out to the thing or something. Like, dude, you just walk it out with her. What we got over here? We got, let's see. Star Wars team leader said, "Oh, and I didn't like that neither." There was like 1 billion stormtroopers and all kind of people outside when Reva comes outside when they're walking, and nobody can't shoot there's 3 people against 1 million, and nobody can shoot them. Like what the hell is going on?
Stormtroopers have terrible aim. We all know this already.
Yeah, but that's just terrible. That's just super terrible. And not all of them were stormtroopers, because some of them was pilots and officers that was out there. There was all kind of people. Like, can't nobody hit. Like, it would have been more believable. Like, and that's my thing. Like, just make it believable. Like, a little bit. Like, I don't mind that they got away. They're supposed to get away. That's the story. Come on, they're the good guys. They're supposed to win. But like, at least somebody gets shot in the leg or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least make it a look like they just escaped unscathed. And then the one nobody dude that had that one point in that scene, and Reva throws the thing at the ship and then kills him. I'm just sitting there looking at like, why the other brother didn't, like the brother when he ran up there, why didn't he throw something? Why did he throw your damn lightsaber at it or something? Like, he just ran up. Don't let him get away. And then she just picks up this thing and throws it at the back of the ship and blows it up. I was like, what the hell? Like, they could have just done way better, I think. Not that it was a bad episode. Like, it wasn't bad. It just, a lot of the stuff that, like, the action scenes just was, like, very poorly done and not well thought out. Let's see. It says, Star Wars team leader said he used the blaster a lot at the end. Yeah, he did do that for it being such a crude weapon. But I think that's more of a blaster moment. You're not going to make out too well with a lightsaber against 1,000 people shooting at you. You know, that's not just going to work. Oh, that shit was crazy, man. What y'all think about all the Jedis that they had in that tomb thing?
So the first one you spot is that old man, right?
The one from the one that took Ahsoka, and when she lost her lightsaber in that episode. Yep.
That bummed me out. That was the one. And then the youngling. I didn't know who the other ones were. I was trying to think. I was trying to remember some.
Oh man, what's the big dude's name? The one that looked like a Viking or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's his name? He was in like the 3rd season of Clone Wars.
All I remember is like I saw that one. I was like, oh, that sucks. And then I saw the youngling, and I was like, that seems logical. That seems like an Anakin Skywalker thing. He's got to have a display item like that.
Youngling Slayer 3000.
Yep.
It just...
Hey, that's a good point, Chris. Because I was thinking about like that too. Like, okay, even if they do get away, like, they know that that's Organa's daughter. Like, what's going to stop them just from going to Alderaan and go pick her ass up? She knows about the past. So what's going to stop them from doing that? Like, I'm really excited to see what the next episode brings, because I'm like, okay, if Kenobi, the next episode, he should be getting her back to Alderaan. So, of course, they get back to Alderaan, but they're being tracked. Like, what's keeping them from just the Empire just coming to Alderaan and just saying, hey, fuck y'all, you know what I'm saying? We're going to just take over and just do what we want and give us your child. Like, is this like the real key factor that really puts Organa into like the full-fledged Rebel Alliance? Like, we need to really get this going. I was kind of thinking about that earlier. Like, is this what pushes him over the edge to be full Rebel? Like, you know, full Rebel Alliance? Because Organa's already kind of there. He's already on Yoda and he's already on the good side. But is this the thing that just like really pushes him over, and then that's when he starts, you know, getting Mon Mothra and everybody's getting together to really, really start the Rebel Alliance? You know, because right now it's just basically they're just hiding Jedis and, you know, doing little bitty things. They're not like the full Rebel Alliance shit. Mm-hmm. Is this the thing that like pushes them over? What's up, Obi-Wan Kenobi?
It would make sense.
I don't know. What did you say was that? Go ahead, Tori.
Was that one chick in the tomb a Night Sister? I literally have it pulled up, like going tomb by tomb, trying to figure out if there was one in there.
Like, I don't know. Like, I
wanted all of that. I wanted to see every single one because they were up there. They were stacked.
Yeah, they were stacked.
I want to know.
And
who
what
the
were
fuck
they
is
in? Like,
there?
what is that? Like, what is that substance? Were they in a liquid, or is that like? It kind of looked like, you know, like how they showed in like Jurassic Park, the little, you know, he was inside the sap thing. He kind of that's kind of what it looked like a little bit. Yeah, like some sort of like glass or some sort of containment, or were they dead, or, you know, are they just in stasis, or like, I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, what is that?
That would be crazy if they were like in a stasis to the point where you can unthaw them and they would just go back to where they were.
Kind of like carbonite, a clear carbonite.
Yeah, like something like that or something. But he said it's a tomb, so, you know what I'm saying? I'm guessing they're all dead. He wasn't
so mortified, though. That's what fucked me up.
Dude, I was mortified when I seen that. Like, I was like, wow.
I can't help.
You playing the episode?
Damn, I thought the volume was down.
Hey, I would play the whole episode and we could talk about it, but we can't figure out how to get a small screen. I've been messing with it for like a week trying to figure out how we can get a small screen, because I think that's what it is. We was using that big screen. As if you watch other people when they're doing reaction, they have a smaller screen and they cut out a lot. So it's like it plays for a second, then it goes dark, and then, you know, then it plays for a second, but the volume is always there. But the video, they take the parts of the video out. So I was trying to figure out how to do that on here using StreamYard, but I haven't been able to figure it out yet. I know there got to be a way. We'll get there where we can watch, because especially when the Bad Batch comes out, I want to be able to watch it.
Can't wait for the Bad Batch.
Oh, man.
The Bad Batch. Just watching the trailer, just is that, like, I watched it like 20, 30 times, like trying to look at little key things so I can get an idea of what the episodes is going to be about. I don't know too much about this one. The last one I knew a lot about because I was there for a little bit of that, but this one I don't know anything about. So
I just rewatched that just tiny clip of seeing the Jedi that are in the tomb. I don't think it's a Night Sister because she doesn't have the markings that they would get.
Yeah.
She's just in like a kind of like a serape type thing, and she does have a necklace though. I wasn't able to see like what exactly because I couldn't zoom in on it.
I was thinking that I remember seeing her in one of the prequel, like when they was at the Jedi Temple. Like she just looks real familiar to me. Like she might have been at the temple.
Oh, Obi-Wan just said the corpse may belong to the Jedi Master Coleman.
Can't pronounce that.
Yeah, something, K something, who appeared as a member of the Jedi High Council in Revenge of the Sith and several episodes of the Clone Wars.
And that's what I was thinking. Like, she looked familiar, like I had seen her before. I'm like, and not in cartoon form, but like the actress. Like, I seen that actress in one of the prequel trilogies. He said Obi-Wan said, or Obi-Wan said he just found that. What if they are not actually dead and they're just being preserved? That's what I was thinking. Like, what if they're just being preserved? Because you got to think about it. Like, after Vader's gone and they think that Palpatine is gone, you know, then we go into like the Mandalorian part. They're trying to get Grogu to be able to figure out his Force ability. So, what's his face can get Force powers because he doesn't have none. And it's like they're trying to figure out a way to like put midichlorians in somebody and taking Grogu's midichlorians or something. So, is they doing that, trying to figure out a way that they could clone them or something like that to have like a legion of?
I think it was for the Snoke project, like I saw there. I believe Chris said it. I think it's for the Snoke project. I don't. This part right here where we're at is almost 20 years until Din and all that.
Yeah,
25, 26 years until then. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. I think it's more of the Snoke project. I think it's just going to be a hidden project that Palpatine has hold of.
Yeah, because like, what is the purpose of keeping all these, even if they're dead?
Trophies.
What is the purpose of keeping that? Unless you're trying to do something like clone them or figure out a way to steal their Force abilities or take the midichlorians out of their bodies or something. Like, there has to be a purpose because they have them all. Even when Reva was trying to kill the young guy in the first episode, and the Grand Inquisitor stopped her. It was like, you know, why would you stop her from killing him? You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make no sense. Like, you could just strike him down right there. She was like, you know, he's like, the Grand Inquisitor is like, take him for interrogation or whatever. So it's like, okay, what's the purpose of that? Like, why are y'all saving the Jedis? Like, there has to be Palpatine has a plan for everything.
He does.
So, like, I just think that there's a purpose behind it, and hopefully they bring that out because that'll be dope. Because I want to know. That's something I really want to know. Like, why do you keeping all these dead Jedi's for? That don't make no sense.
Well, that's kind of like
Especially the young
if they're dead.
Yeah, but like if we want to like cross some universes here, I mean that's how they got the dinosaurs in Jurassic World, was in Jurassic Park and World and all that, is that they took the amber glass that all of the little bugs and the little dinosaurs and everything was in, and they pulled the DNA from that because it was so well preserved that it didn't get the air to it, so it didn't disintegrate. So
yeah, so they took the DNA.
With them being in that like amber glass kind of state of homeostasis almost.
That would be cool. Actually, I just read an article the other day that they were talking about some Chinese guy. I think it was Chinese. Might have been Japanese. But they were talking about cloning an actual dinosaur because they have the DNA. And
we have 4 movies saying why it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Like, dude, you didn't ever watch none of the Jurassic Parks or Jurassic Worlds or Lost World or whatever. You didn't watch none of that. It's not a good idea. I don't even care if it's a small one.
I'm super into dinosaurs. I would love to have a pet Triceratops. My daughter could ride that into battle. It would be awesome. But it's not a good idea.
Like, that's like, there's a reason they're extinct. Like, don't bring them back. That's not a good thing. One of the things that, like, I want to bring up the fact of the communicator leaving on the table, because that was a direct link to A New Hope. That was like a definite Easter egg that they brought for the New Hope, just like Kenobi making his stance. That them are some of the Easter eggs for back from other things. But I really like the detail that they put into. I love the way that they had the camera right on it, and when she walks out, then the camera focuses back to her. That was some great. It was so flawless the way that they did that. It really excited me. Like, I was like, the communicator is on the thing. It's on the thing, just like in New Hope. I don't know why. I so wanted C-3PO to walk out. Like, hey, yo, man. I was like, C-3PO gotta come.
Yo, Star Wars team leader, don't fuck me up like that.
Hey, that would be crazy. If they was
That's-
like actually making kyber crystals out of the Jedi, like, but
Well,
then when
this
you
is
have like a
already-
good kyber,
They already make their
Well-
artificial kyber crystals, so why not do it with like Jedi DNA?
that would be kind of creepy though. That's
Sith
like super
Alchemy
creepy.
101.
Yeah. Well, we know that because in Rogue One they go. I mean, is it Rogue? Yeah, in Rogue One they're going after the kyber crystals because they stripped the whole world of kyber. So we know that they're looking for kyber, but I don't think that they would be taking it out of the Jedi or trying to make the Jedi into kyber crystals because they're finding giant kyber crystals. I mean, the whole Death Star, the whole the ray, the laser beam that blows up Alderaan, that's from a kyber crystal.
But
So
what if they're looking for like a super crystal? For like a saber that could destroy all sabers.
what was it? It was in Lego. What was the Lego? The Freemakers. When it the Freemakers when they was trying to find that like super lightsaber that could like destroy a planet or something. I think it was in the Lego Freemakers. And they
I
had
wouldn't
like,
know.
hey, the Freemakers was dope. I like the Freemakers. That shit was funny. Because the kid just doesn't know anything about the Force. He just keeps using it and fucking shit up because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, I don't know. Yeah, I like that. What?
Dude in the
Hey.
top right sharded.
Hey, who's in the top? Hey, CJ, you sharding? That's what they said. Lola's band fan.
Lola's B fan, maybe Lola's biggest fan.
Hey, yeah. How are we messing your name up? I'm sorry. But that's the Lord of the Rings. No, it was
Hey.
in the Freemaker.
No, I was talking about like I think he's talking about the like one
Oh.
ring to rule them all from
Yeah.
yeah, the one saber to rule them all.
Well, I mean, you really think about it because that's in the Mandalorian. That's in Clone Wars and all that because you got the Darksaber. It could completely whoever holds the Darksaber. The only person in Mandalorian lore that is above whoever holds the Darksaber is the Mandalore. So whoever has Mandalore's mask is the only one that could override the Darksaber.
No, Chris, you're not the only one who thought that the episode was a live action Fallen Order mission. CJ said the same thing.
Yeah.
What
It's
is
like a mix between Fallen Order and Rogue One, in my opinion. I love
now? I didn't get so I watched the whole thing this morning, and then I tried to watch it again when I got home from work, but I was cooking dinner and stuff because my wife had to work late, and I didn't get to see. Now, is it like I want to know so they fly into that other ship, the little scrapper ship or whatever it is, and they fly off. Where do you think they're going to go directly to Alderaan, or do you think that they might go somewhere else first?
See,
I think they're
I
gonna go-
sorry, Kim, go.
Oh no, I was just saying I don't think they're gonna go right to Alderaan.
I don't think so either, because even though they got away, I think Kenobi would be like smart enough to be like, okay, like there was some pretty sketchy stuff that happened. Like we got to check everything, make sure Leia's safe to go home.
Real fast. No, they're not going there. They're not going to Alderaan first. They're going to go to that base. That's what Reva wanted. 2, Lola's B fan. If you're not here to talk about Star Wars, go. This is we're a friendly community. We're cool and all, but you're not going to be talking about abortion and talking shit on us or anybody in the chat. We're all fans here.
I wasn't even paying attention. I just looked over opinion on abortions.
My point exactly. Not needed.
In Star Wars, I don't think they have abortions in Star Wars. I think the Empire just kills everybody. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the Empire's rule on abortion is, that's whatever the rule is. Because at this point, the Empire is controlling everything.
But no, Reva wants them to lead them to that base. That is why she did what she did to Lola. And that is
well, I mean that it doesn't matter where they go because she'll be able to track them down. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter where they go. But like, you kind of think that that's the way that it has to go, though, right? You know, it has to go because they're looking for the path. That's what she's looking for. So it kind of makes sense in the storyline to follow the path. So they go to where the path is at, and then they got to redo the whole path and all that stuff to make it, you know, to make it like just to make it linear, to make it make sense. Because if they just went to Alderaan and I have a problem with like, because they know that Leia is Organa's daughter now. I mean, the whole Vader, everybody knows that. So it's like, why ain't they just? It doesn't matter where they go. If they go to Alderaan, they just gonna go get her. It's like, how is like. It kind of makes sense now when you think about it when it comes to New Hope, because he was like, you are a rebel leader and a spy, and, you know, when Vader's but she's talking shit to Vader like she knows Vader personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Lord Vader, I could understand your hand is in this bullshit. Where's Tarkin at? You know what I'm saying? That's the way Leia was talking to him in New Hope. Like, so they've had some little, like, there has to be more to this for them to go through that. And then how does Vader not realize, like, sense that that's his daughter? You know, how does Anakin not know that, you know, when he's around her and sense her that that's his daughter? Like, I that's just something that kind of bothers me, because we know how powerful Anakin is. We know his connection to the Force. It's like, how do you not figure that out? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
I did.
Well,
well,
Leia doesn't really.
He didn't even.
Oh, you go. You're good.
He didn't even know about Luke until Palpatine had that vision and told him about Luke. There was, I don't know if it was in the Book of Sith that I was reading or another book, but he had a vision, and it was of Padme and the twins and Anakin before he turned Vader. And they were all together, and that's how. Well, no, it was just Luke. It wasn't both of the twins. It was just Luke, and it was all three of them. And he saw all three of them together, and he told Vader, and that's how Vader knew about Luke.
So this would probably be like right about in between New Hope and Return or Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
because
unless he knew about Luke right before.
That was another question that I always had. I always had that question too, like, because Vader looks over at Luke when they're on the thing after he kills Obi-Wan in New Hope. He kind of looks over and he kind of looks at him like, oh shit, that's my son. Like, oh man. He just looks over. Like, you can't tell what Vader's facial expression is because it's always the same. But he kind of looks over and he just gives that look, and as they're running off, and he just looking like, oh, that's my son.
What if Vader never knew that Leia was his daughter? Like, he knew that he had Luke. What if he just never knew that Leia was his actual daughter? What if he just thought that it just stopped at Luke, that there was not a second baby that was born?
Well, I mean, and that's another thing. Like, how did
Palpatine ends up telling him later on? But
that's how another thing. Like, how did he not know that she was pregnant with twins? You that connected to the Force, and you didn't. I mean, that strong. I mean, you got the highest midichlorian count ever, and you didn't know that she was pregnant with twins.
Well, he didn't even know that she was pregnant.
Yeah,
she told him.
Yeah, he didn't know until later. I mean, because he was off on missions and stuff, and then he came back. That was that scene, you know, and he's like, oh, that's great. Yay.
Oh, I'm
damn
screwed.
it.
How am I going to explain this to Kenobi?
Yeah.
It just always surprised. Like when he's choking her, even, you know, I guess at that point you're just ravaged with hate and all that from, you know, becoming a Sith, and you just killed a whole Jedi, all of them that was in the temple. But at the same time, it's like, how didn't, you are like the chosen one. I mean, you are the chosen one. How did you not know that, you know, she was pregnant with twins? You couldn't feel two babies in there? Like, dude, you're like more powerful than Yoda.
Chris,
and you,
Chris. I was
I
just
love
gonna
Chris.
say that.
They have flying ships and lightsabers, but little to no ultrasound technology.
They
Yeah.
have back to tanks. They have back to tanks. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you
They have
get a
shit
back
that can
tank.
heal you from third-degree burns, but you will never find out what kind of baby or how many babies you're having. All you know is that they're pregnant and you can hear their heartbeat.
I feel like Anakin was too consumed with the fact that Padme might die. So he was probably just, I don't know. I mean, that's the only excuse I could give is maybe he was way
What if, like,
overly focused on Padme
What if
dying.
like the only species that had ultrasound shit was like the Gungans? I would
But you think
avoid
that it would be? You think that they would have been they would have introduced. I question things like that. You're the most powerful Jedi ever, but you don't know you're having twins. You're the most powerful Jedi or Sith ever. You know, I don't think that much about him with being a Sith because he got his legs cut off and then one arm cut off, and then from the looks at the beginning of this, like his whole midsection is gone. You know, his whole like all his lungs and everything
Listen,
inside of
he's
his
trying to hang
body.
in there, okay?
Yeah,
He's just trying to
and
hang on.
so you don't have as many metachlorians as you used to, so you're not going to be as strong, but then you make up for it with the suit. But at the same time, you couldn't sense that this person was your daughter or, you know, like that. It's just hard for me to fathom, you know. It just,
I mean, you know how Kenobi, you know, after, because he didn't use the Force for how long?
like 10 years.
10 years.
So, and you can't really sense somebody with the Force. You know, like, okay, let's say Vader was in front of Leia, right? If she's not using her Force abilities, can he really sense anything?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Because that's how
I guess
Kenobi
so.
stayed hidden.
Right.
He
Well,
showed
I mean, and
himself
that's the way that Palpatine and them say it, because when they're around the Jedi, they disconnect themselves from the Force so they couldn't be detected. It was like something that Bane was teaching Xana in when he started the Rule of Two. You have to be able to round Jedi's. Well, she broke into the Jedi temple. Xana did, to get information about the obelisks, and never nobody detected that she was a Sith, that she was using the dark side. Couldn't none of the Jedi's, because they were able to like block that off. And then we know Palpatine was around so many Jedi's. They was Yoda, everybody was sitting in there, and they never knew it till the very end. Like, it was already too late by the time they found out that he was that he was a Sith Lord. It was, and then they took my boy out. Like, like Palpatine just killed him like he wasn't nothing. Like, dude, this is one of the greatest swordsmen ever. And you just killed him in an instant. Like, that is, bothered me. That was one of the Kid Fisto got took out way too. That was hurtful. Like, he didn't even get a swing.
That hit the feelers on another level.
I liked him.
So who was disappointed that that what's his face didn't show up? What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
Why can't I think of it? My brain does not work.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's saved. It's getting saved for.
What's his name?
Quinlan.
Yeah, Quinlan Wallace. Like, I was so expecting to see him show up in the. I thought he was going to be the one that they was going to bring him in to go save Leia, because Kenobi was going to be in the back of the tank or something. Yeah, Quinlan Wallace.
I thought maybe they would have, like, even if they brought him in to like get on the Inquisitor's base to help Kenobi out, just have that witty Quinlan Voss moment that we see in Clone Wars, where Quinlan's trying to make Kenobi do crazy shit half the time.
Well, I was thinking, because, you know, like, if you look back at like New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, like the Rebels was pretty much, but they didn't have back the tanks. They weren't that. Like, they didn't have that type of, not that they didn't have that type of technology, but they just didn't have the means to have stuff like that. So I was really in a thought process, like, he's going to be like, you know, healing. They was going to be giving them like back the shots or whatever that they do and do all that stuff. And then Quinlan was going to come in and go rescue Leia. I thought that was, and he was going to end up dying, you know, rescuing Leia. That's what I was so hoping for this episode. I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was really like, they might do it. They might just trick me and just do it. And then they didn't do it. And I was I was a little disappointed. Like, I wanted to see Quinlan Voss in this episode. Like, why did we get to see Quinlan? Why bring him up and then not show him in the next episode? That's kind of sucks.
I wonder if they're gonna bring him into the second season and then he dies, and that's what makes Kenobi finally say, "I can't do it no more. I have to stay hidden."
I think we know. Like I said, unless they change the ending, you know, because but I think they already knew that they was gonna come out with a season 2. But at the same time, I don't think that they're gonna change that much, you know, even if they did. I think Quinlan Voss comes out, maybe that's that. They kind of hinted to it because that's going to be that season finale, Quinlan Voss versus Vader, you know, and like they like do some type of mind trick to Vader, and Vader actually thinks Quinlan is Obi-Wan, and that's why he never looks for him again. He thinks that he kills him. You know, some type of deal like that.
They have that, like we saw it in Clone Wars where Kenobi got that shot that looked like the bounty hunter. What if they did that to Quinlan, so Quinlan looks like Kenobi?
But Quinlan ain't no punk though. You know what I'm saying? We seen him in I mean, he handled Cad Bane. You know, and that's not an easy task to do, especially like, you know, Cad Bane back in Clone Wars time.
He was a Jedi killer.
Yeah, that dude was dope. He was super dope. And you know, Quinlan Voss, he handled Bane. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I understand Vader's dope, but Quinlan is not no punk, and he's great with a saber. So, he could definitely put up a hell of a fight. So, it's like, okay, I don't know. And see, that's the hardest thing because we know that Vader is dope. We know that Vader is strong in the Force, but he's not Anakin. He doesn't have that agility. He doesn't have that, you know, he doesn't have the Force abilities because he lost a lot of metachlorians. You lose big chunks of your body, that lowers your metachlorian count. So, and you can't get new metachlorians. I mean, you can, of course, metachlorians, you know, if one dies in your body, another one grows. But at the same time, if you don't have the area to store them because you're missing those limbs, you know, you're not going to be as strong in the Force. To go up against somebody like Quinlan Voss or even Kenobi, like, in reality, it's not going to be a very... Only reason that Obi-Wan didn't do good in the last episode, shock. You know, oh my God, I got to do this again. You know, being upset, you know, about everything that's going on. And I'm 10 years out of practice. You know, I haven't done nothing in 10 years. So it just kind of, I don't know. This is one of those things, like usually I'm pretty good at following a story and telling where a story is going to go. And this one got me stumped because I do not know what's going to happen. Like, I can't predict what's going to happen in this. As y'all know, everybody watches the show and everybody's on the show. I'm pretty good at predicting what's going to happen. And I'm kind of at a loss now because this one kind of put me at a loss, really, because the way they left off, like, you know, she's running from Reva. They didn't show Reva catching her, and then they started this episode without showing us that. You know, they didn't really show us her catching her. They just saying she's in a room, Reva's there. You know, we know Kenobi ain't dead because the battle droid got him, but then, you know, he's in a bacta tank and he's having this dream. You know, everything played out, but it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Like, I really thought they would bring Quinlan in this episode, and Quinlan would go rescue her, and then, you know, he'd get away, but then they track him. Like, the tracking part and all that stuff, I knew was going to happen. But I did not know that it was going to be Kenobi to go and get her. I thought it was going to be Quinlan. It just made sense to me. And this didn't make a lot of sense, which was good because I like being excited. I like when I don't know. That's what really excites me.
I like where it's going, though. Like, I like the show so far. You know what I mean? I think they're doing an amazing job.
What I don't understand is there's like a gang of fans. Like, I'm looking at Instagram and TikTok, and there's a gang of people talking about, oh, this sucks. Like, dude, okay, what are you comparing this to? Like, because this shit is like actual Star Wars. It's not like that crap Book of Boba Fett that they put out. This is like actual Star Wars. This is like following the Star Wars timeline and everything. Like everything that people was bitching that we didn't get in some of these other shows, we're getting here, and then they're still complaining about it. Like the series as a whole. Like I don't like parts of things that happen. Like I didn't like the fight scene today. The choreograph on none of that stuff. I didn't like that. I didn't like how he's walking out with her underneath a coat. Like that just. Some of that stuff was just like, okay, y'all just that wasn't good at all. But the storyline is great. Like they are telling us everything that happened during this time period. Mm-hmm. It's not like when they took, Boba Fett and turned him into a good guy. Like, you turn a bad guy into a good guy. Like that don't follow with the storyline. That's not.
He could have always been a good guy. You don't know. You don't know what he's been through, okay?
It doesn't follow with who we know.
There is no good guy,
Obi-Wan
bad guy when you're a bounty hunter.
Well, there was a reason he said no disintegrations, because that's who Boba Fett is. Boba Fett, dead or alive, you're coming with me, and I'd rather do it dead. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just disintegrate you and bring you back some dust. That's who Boba Fett was. So when they made him a good guy, which is not like I said, me watching it multiple times, me watching the galleries on it. I understand what they're doing. I understand they're trying to make a fan favorite character into a good guy because it pleases the fans. But it's not linear to the story of who Boba Fett is, what's going on. It's not linear to that. So when you take that story and then everybody's like, well, that's not really following the story. It's the same way I felt. A lot of fans felt that way. They didn't follow a story, didn't follow who Boba Fett was. Not that the series wasn't good, it just didn't fit with the linear timeline. Mm-hmm. Then you take that and then you go to Kenobi and you're providing everything that we wanted. Like everything that everybody was bitching about not getting, they're providing that, and then everybody's complaining about the series. Like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, you're making a 6-part. Everything, like you go back to any one of the movies, everything in that whole movie was not 100% good. There was bad acting, bad shots. You got people doing stuff like you can see the damn camera guy in the background. You can see the camera guy on CP3O's face, and stuff like that. That stuff happens. Mm-hmm. Everything's not going to be 100% perfect. It's impossible. But they're not bitching about like, oh, it was bad choreographed. They're bitching about the entire series saying it's not good. Like, what are you talking about? First you bitched that you wasn't getting it. Now you're bitching because it's not what you wanted. Like, what do you mean? That's what you asked for. They're giving you what you asked for. Just because they're not telling the story that you wanted them to tell is bad? That's what I don't get.
Can't please everybody, and that's true. I mean, someone is always going to find something to complain about.
And that's the crazy thing. It's like got an 83% Rotten Tomatoes? Mm-hmm. I think the last time I looked at it, it was like 80, and it was on the rise. So it's like, I think it's like an 83 now. But then you got all these people on social media bitching about it. Like, what are you bitching about? Like, dude, it can't have an 83 Rotten Tomato and then be bad. Like, dude, what are you talking about? Like,
yep.
The 100,000 people already said it was good, so you get 10,000 over here saying it's bad. And it's like, that don't make no sense to me. And it's not bad. Like I said, I didn't like the choreographed scene. Like, if I was to rate this episode overall, I'd probably rate it at like a 6. It's not getting the 7.5, 8 like I gave the other episode just because of that choreographed scene. Everything else was perfect. Like the shots, the sounds, the Foley, everything else was great. I just didn't like the fight scene. The fight scene was just like, that shit didn't make. You literally held up a lightsaber and a stormtrooper shot the lightsaber 4 times. Can't hit your whole body, but he hit the lightsaber 4 times. Like, dude, but every single one of them sounds was on point. Like, bing, bing, you can hear it hitting the lightsaber, and it's the flash and everything's going off. It's perfect. So that's what I didn't like. And I didn't like them walking out with her just underneath her coat. I was like, dude, y'all could have came up with something better than that. But it just didn't.
On a funny note. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Make a comment about Boba. Boba is watching Kenobi and bummed with how he wasted a perfect back-to-bath.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Like, but Boba had a super back to tank. His back to tank was all dope. He had the ruler of the whole state, the whole Tatooine. back to tank. That one that Obi-Wan was in was
It was
like
a bougie edition.
Yeah, it was one of the older ones. Yeah, that's another. That's right. Star Wars team leader just said, they used the old or the new resistant pilot helmets instead of the old ones. That was kind of out of place. It was out of place because if you think about it, they wouldn't even have them helmets yet.
But how would we know?
Yeah, I mean
That's the thing. How would we know?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Well,
so
they
many
didn't have them
different.
in a
There's
new
so
home,
many.
so
The underground
Well, there's so many different.
railroad they have going on.
They have so
technically they're
many
not even
different
the
rebel
resistance
styles.
at this point. They're not even the resistance at this point. I mean, even though the helmets was like the newer shape, they wasn't even the resistance. He said, what did was it Kenobi? They said it. It was Layla or whatever, however you say her name. Was it Taylor, Layla? What's her name? Tala. When she says, I guess they're rebels now or whatever. What did she
Soldiers
say?
now.
Yeah, soldiers now.
Yeah.
So at this point, the helmets that they're wearing are just regular pilot helmets. Maybe it's just all the pilot helmets and they had different styles or something. Who knows? Bodie says,
Like,
but that's the thing. It doesn't have low tomato scores. They're big, Bodie. They're up there. We're in the 80s. It's a great series. Like, the series is good. I don't understand. I think that's what bothers me so much is because people are putting it down like, dude, you're getting exactly what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted to know what happened during this time period. What was happening with Luke? What was happening with Leia when they were kids? And, how everything went out. And then they tell us a story and there's a bunch of people that's like, no. And I swear, I think it's probably the same people that were saying racist crap to Moses and, picking on Leia. And I think it was the same people. They're just some people just out there that you cannot please. Like,
Right.
they could be like, I want a show that is exactly this. And then you give it to them and they complain about it. They would say, oh, it's not good. I don't like this. I don't like this. The storyline is great so far. It's
Unavoidable.
It's a great storyline.
Mm-hmm.
and it's done
really
super well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got like an 80 or 83 Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like that is great. Yep. Obi-Wan said the haters gonna hate.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also that gives fuel to the fire too for Disney to say crap like, what I'm saying, we're all toxic fans and racist and shit like that. Cause you get a few people that want to say some dumb shit and want to be negative about, I hate this, it's the worst thing, Star Wars. I was looking on our Instagram earlier, and I'm just going through the Instagram comments about the season 2 coming out on that post. And I'm reading through the comments like, dude, you guys are like, these, like, people are like literally about to go blows over like saying it's good or bad. I'm like, dude, what are you guys talking about? Like, dude, I'm so excited they're going to bring out a season 2. What are you guys talking about? Like, this is dope. I think, honestly, this is my opinion. I think that they filmed season 2 already. A lot of people I think they filmed like 12 or 14 episodes, like right off the bat. And then they was like, we're going to give them the first 6. And if it does good, then we'll put out the rest of them. We'll have a season 2 and put out the rest of them. Because that just makes sense. It just makes sense. Because like the episode, it would be different if the episodes were like, more linear. And what I'm saying? Every episode was like an hour. But we got 30-minute episodes today. Today, I think it was like 36 minutes. Last week's was like 49 minutes. The first episode was like an hour and 1 minute or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So with them being different lengths and times, they're like, all right, we're going to put this out. This one's only a 30-minute because we need to make sure that we have enough so we can call it a season, or a mini series or how, because it's kind of crazy that they even say seasons and 6 episodes. That's a mini series. Mm-hmm. So it's like they already had this planned out. And it's just real crazy that after 3 episodes, they're like, oh, yeah, we're coming out with a season 2. Like, come on, y'all already had that recorded. Like, it's already done. Y'all already recorded all this. And that's the reason that when at Celebrations, he's like, and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, because he already knows. They already recorded it. It's already been set up. Like, there was no possible way that it could be bad. Like, dude, it's Kenobi. We all knew that it was going to be at least, if not great, it was going to be at least decent enough to be. It couldn't be any worse than the Book of Boba Fett. So it had to be better than that. So we knew that was coming. We knew we wanted this time. I keep going back to that. We wanted this. And then people complain about it. Like, dude, we wanted this. Like, I wanted this so bad. I've been wanting this for 20 years.
It's just not what people envision.
I think it's not. I think that's what I was just about to say. It's not you have all of this time to build up in your own head. It's kind of like reading a book. You read a book, you build the characters, you imagine the characters, all of that. Then when you actually see them, it's not your interpretation of them, so you're not going to like it. And that's, everybody's been spending years and going, what happened to Kenobi? What happened to Kenobi? What about Vader? What about baby Luke and baby Leia? All of that. And so we have all of these events and everything that go on in our heads, and when it gets put into a TV show, it's somebody else's events in their heads. So we're automatically not going to love it right off the bat. We got to kind of warm up to it a little bit. But I personally love it. I knew that Kenobi had, when we first met Kenobi, he was the hermit that was living on Tatooine. And so, like, kind of like the crazy drunk that lived on the corner that nobody talked to.
I always talk to him. What are you talking about? We got him everywhere.
The crackhead around the corner. Get away from him.
But yeah, like that's.
You're gonna beg for $2.
Like, everybody's gonna complain. Right. Please, sir, can I have some more? But that's
hell no.
Everybody's gonna complain because they're not what it's not what they want.
What do y'all think?
It's like you with Boba Fett. You necessarily didn't love Boba Fett, but you had also built it up in your head to what you wanted.
And see, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with people having opinions. You know what I'm saying? You can have opinion, but don't put down the whole series.
Right.
Because it's not what you expected. Like, I don't like the Book of Boba Fett because it's not who I thought Boba Fett was. But it's okay. That's my opinion. But and other people's opinions is great. We're allowed to have different opinions, but don't say the whole series is bad. Because, like, to me, the Mandalorian episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were awesome. Like, dude, this is like the greatest episode. And the Luke episode, these was awesome episodes. Like, dude, this was really good. I didn't put down the whole. I know I sometimes generalize and say the Book of Boba Fett, but it wasn't the whole Book of Boba Fett. It's just what they did with Boba Fett. It wasn't that bad. Like, when you really look at it and you see the action, to me, it didn't have a story. There wasn't no real story behind it. They didn't really put a lot of idea into the story. When you sit back and you watch the series, especially when you watch the whole series, it's pretty good. There's a lot of action, and I'm an action person. I love to see some action. So it's not that it just wasn't what I expected, but it's okay. I don't have to like everything that's Star Wars. I think a lot of times people get into this thing that if you're a Star Wars fan, you must like everything that's ever created in Star Wars. Like, no, there's stuff that, like, dude, the Resistance, that cartoon, that shit was terrible. It's so bad. Like, dude, and to me, it's like, what does this even have to do with Star Wars? Like, dude, what are you talking about? But I love the Clone Wars. I love Rebels. You don't have to like everything that Star Wars is because it has a star. Like, what if they put Star Wars on Star Trek and just said, oh, you got to like it because of Star Wars? There's so many fans that's not going to like that crap. They're going to be like, hell no, man, you can't cross the two freaking things together. No, man, Star Wars and Star Trek, we're arch enemies. Mm-hmm. But now you have to like it just because they put Star Wars on it? No, it's not going to happen. So I don't have a problem with somebody not liking something. What I have a problem with is don't ask for something and then they give you exactly what you asked for and then you bitch about it. Like, dude, this is great. What are you talking about? Like today, I did not like the choreography of the thing, but that doesn't mean I don't like the whole series. The series is great. Like, I just didn't like that part. It's okay not to like something. Like, I cannot stand Reva as the character. Like, she pisses me off. Like, I want to choke her. But that doesn't have anything to do with Moses Ingram. Moses Ingram is doing a great job as acting her. She's being that person. And that's who you want that to be. You want to. The whole object is to hate her. That's who she's acting. You want to hate her. She's supposed to be she's the bad guy. As a bad, and she's killing it as a bad guy. But as a bad guy, you're supposed to dislike the bad guy. It's like who you look at Vader. You hated Vader all the way up until the end of the thing. And then you're like, oh, he changed. He's good now. You know what I'm saying? You hated Vader, but you loved Anakin. Same person. You know what I'm saying? But when he was the bad guy, you hated Palpatine. And I don't know anybody that says back and says, oh, I love Palpatine. Even me. Palpatine's just an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
I know somebody. I think she's on the.
Don't you start coughing at me. Don't you start coughing at me.
Grandpa Palpatine sympathizer.
Like Palpatine, he's the bad guy. You're supposed to dislike the bad guy. That's the reason he's the bad guy. And you know when you got a great actor playing that bad guy, because when they can really make you feel like I hate this person, like I hate Reva, like she is just so evil. But at the same time, it's because she is evil that makes the show good. You know what I'm saying? That portraying of that evil, that just conniving, just evil person. It's like that's what makes the show so interesting. And I don't get that. I don't get why people are looking at, like, you cannot like an actor, like people with the Leia thing. Oh, she can't act. She's 9. She's not supposed to act. Like, how good do you expect a 9-year-old to be? Like, she ain't been doing this for 30 years. You know, you get better with practice at anything. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you putting down this little girl for that? You know, it's like she's not supposed to be able to good act. And I think she's killing it. You know, she's messed up a few times. You could tell looks in her face like it was supposed to be a different look from what she's saying. But she's 9, you know, like, goddamn.
Yes, Chris, I did. That made my whole day.
What, the recreation of the robot chicken Palpatine on...
My lord, Stormtrooper.
Oh.
My lord, Stormtrooper. My lord. Mm-hmm. My lord. Mm-hmm. My lord. Go fuck yourself. That was like my favorite thing.
But I don't get that. I mean, and it just upsets me, like, when people, like, try to classify, just like with Disney. How can you say that every Star Wars fan is racist and toxic? You know what I'm saying? Why would you say that? That's bullshit. That's not the truth. There's several out there, and I don't care what organization or what fandom or whatever, you're going to have people that are just bad apples. You're going to get that. But don't put down the entire episode or the entire fandom because of that. You're generalizing. You're generalizing the whole thing. And that's not right. We're so much more than that. There's so many more people in that. I mean, like if you just went through like TikTok and looked like the overall Star Wars fandom compared to a few people that say bad things, it's like probably 1 million to 10. It's like 10 people saying bad stuff and 1 million people that are just having fun enjoying being Star Wars fans. Mm-hmm. But then you go to Facebook, it's the exact opposite. It's like, oh, you got all these Star Wars fans. Oh, you know, we're the greatest Star Wars fans ever. And they got all these groups, but then they're just like horrific things being said. It's like, what the hell? Like, how can you call yourself a Star Wars fan and basically you're saying that all Star Wars sucks? Like, you're not a Star Wars fan. You're somebody, you're a Star Trek fan that is hating Star Wars. So, you know, but when it comes, what makes me so mad, because it really pisses me off, is the fact of they giving us what we asked for. Like, everybody wanted to know this time period. And like you said, Tori, that makes perfect sense. It's not their vision. It's not their vision of what Kenobi was going to be. Well, it's not going to be. It's going to be what whoever the writers is, and whatever Deborah Chow decides to direct it in the general sense of, you know, they might have wanted to have a water scene, and she was like, no, man, why are we having a water scene and we're supposed to be on Tatooine? We're going to do it on a desert. You know, that doesn't make no sense. So she's going to do it the way that she feels it needs to be directed. And then you have a lot of people don't understand that there's a giant organism that's creating each one of these episodes. It's not just one person. It's not just a writer or director or the cameraman or there's so many people involved in this. The editor, that a lot of people don't know just in editing that the editor they're filming like mad. Like one of these episodes might have been 50 hours, and they cut it down to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the editor's job to go in there and edit and make it make sense from all this stuff that's been filmed. And they have to, cut it up, put it together, make it make sense, make it fit together, make, everything work. And that changes a lot. A whole lot. The director's cut of a movie might get 300 hour shot or 1,000 hour shot. Then you have the editors. Then you have the director's cut might be 5 hours, but we're only watching 2 hours in the theater. That's why they always come out later on with the director's cut, and then you get to watch this 5 hour long thing, and you be like, this is totally different. This is like watching a whole different movie. It has parts of the other movie in it. And that's what they don't understand. But people want to neglect to think about all them different things that are happening. And they're like, oh, why they do that? Like, dude, that's the way that they felt that it fit together the best. And it's what tells the story in a linear movement, and it keeps a pacing. Pacing is the biggest thing. And like this episode, to me, it wasn't paced that well, but it fit because it made the story make more sense. So sometimes you slow down pacing. You don't want to be fast paced the whole time because then you lose the story. Or you don't want it to be too slow because then you lose the attention of the people that's watching it. And so far, they've done pretty good about all of it. Everything about this has been pretty well executed. Story, action, acting, everything's been pretty well on point. The score, the Foley, everything has been on point. Boba Fett, not so much. Like there was a lot of times that the blaster would hit something and then you'd hear the blaster shot go off. Like, wait a minute, that don't even make no sense. But that's some shit that Robert Rodriguez loves to do. And if you watch all of his movies, he does that because he wants you to, he thinks that it builds up anxiety in you. So when he brings out that big reveal, it captivates you more because you wasn't expecting it, because everything was just a little bit off. So he purposely directs that way. And that's not something that's, real known. It's not something that George Lucas ever did. George Lucas didn't do that. George Lucas made everything make sense. So that was part of the reason that Book of Boba Fett was just kind of weird. Like, this is a little bit off, but it's because of Robert Rodriguez.
So on a lighter, more happier tone here for a second. In about 11 days, 12 days will be LightSaber Radio's 1 year anniversary.
What? Did we really start? No, it can't be.
Yes.
I thought we started in August.
Our first podcast dropped June 21st of last year.
Oh, shit.
You called me on June 19th on my birthday and told me I was a part of the crew.
Are you sure?
Yes, I just got on Spotify. Our first episode dropped on June 21st.
Let me double check that. Let me double
I
check
just checked it. Do you not trust me? I have this shit saved on a calendar.
I don't trust you.
I mean, I double check you too.
You know what? Fuck you both. That's bullshit. Betrayal.
That's not a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing. It's exciting.
You don't get to call me out like that. You're not gonna call me out like that.
Don't feel bad. I can't remember my anniversary for shit.
The only reason why I remember ours is because it's right before Halloween.
And it was the day I stopped working at the bar.
You got fired. Just say it. Yeah, you want to throw me like that?
All right, I'm double checking right now. We're gonna be sure, because if it is like that, kind of sucks. I mean, it's great that we got a year, but it kind of sucks for another reason. Yep, 6/24/21 was our first published. Damn. Shit is what shit is. We gotta start over. All right, so I want to hear what your guys like. I told everybody mine's a 6. I think this episode was a 6. What do you guys where you guys classifying this episode at?
I'm right there with you at a 6.
Tori, Kim, what? Let's get y'all's perspective on it. Where y'all placing this at?
Honestly, I'm going with a 8.5. I love this episode.
8.5.
It was everything I wanted.
Wow.
This is my favorite episode.
If you ever give an episode a 10, you canceled. We canceled. Can't have nothing that's perfect.
I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it flowed nicely. It just,
I'll give a solid 7.58. I liked it. It felt a little bit shorter, like even when the episode was over, like it was one of the shortest episodes so far, but it felt like it at times. And then when it was over, it was just like, wait, that was it? That was like the quickest episode ever. But I did like it. I liked this playing in the shadows, all of it. How he was kind of forced to pull out his force strength. I hate the fact that she did what she did to Lola. I'm still salty about it. I'll probably forever be salty about it. Don't mess with a girl's droid.
Well, y'all gave it way higher than I thought y'all would. I thought everybody was gonna give it lower. I think Garrison would have gave it a 3. Garrison would have been a solid 3-4. Because as soon as he seen the stormtrooper shoot the lightsaber 4 times and he just hold the lightsaber up like that, that would have been the end of it for Garrison. So I'm going to say it for Garrison. Garrison gave it a 4. I'm going to go with a solid 4. I'll boost it up a little bit. I think he would have said a 3, though.
Okay. Can we just appreciate the fact that a trooper actually hit the same thing more than once, though? Like the same spot more than once?
Yeah, but I don't think he was trying to do that. I think it was an accident.
That was pure accidental. That was pure accidental.
We all know what their aim is like when they're actually trying. So
Star Wars team leader said 6.5. Bodie Collection said an 8. Needs more aliens though. Chris, where you at? Come on, Chris. We need yours. We need your outtake. What do you give it, Chris? Bodie Collection. LOL. Garrison probably would. We got any predictions? Like Chris, I don't know where it's going.
7.
Chris said a 7.
So Chris thinks that Quinlan comes with Asajj to help with Cal and Marin, whatever, who up to, and we get the Night Sisters back together. I'm all up for some Night Sister action.
I don't think they're gonna do that in this. I don't
either.
I don't think, because the Night Sisters is more of a, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just don't think we're gonna get any of the Night Sisters. It would be dope though. I would love to see that. I would love to see Asajj in any live action. That would be super dope. I still want to see Mara Jade in live action though. So but that I don't think that's ever gonna happen ever.
Nope.
No.
But at the same time,
I think that I think George.
I think that was
hated,
written into the contract. I really do.
Yeah. No Jade.
No more Jade ever. You can't have. But I would love to see live action. Like if they did like the live action and had like the. I still want to see the Yuuzhan Vong come. I want to see the Yuuzhan Vong. Just imagine a Jedi having to fight somebody that they cannot use the Force against. Mm-hmm. That would be the dopest shit ever. I would so love to see that. All right, there. Oh, Cad Bane being in Boba Fett has more hopeful for badass aliens in live action. Yeah, I will. I want to see. I want to see more of the aliens in. Now, some of the aliens, like if I don't ever have to see none of them bug creatures, the ant people that's in, I don't ever want to see them, like the ones that can take over your mind and like all that. That I don't want to see that. That I don't like bugs. Bugs are creepy. I'm not a bug person. Okay, that's something I want to know. What is y'all's like? What is the one thing that you do not like? Like me, I can't spiders. Like I do not deal with spiders at all. Like
Spiders, hands down.
I will run.
I can tolerate like a normal like snake that's a pet. Like, am I gonna hold it? Fuck no. But if you have it, cool, good for you. That's yours. Leave it alone. Don't pull it out in front of me. Spiders? No, thank you. I don't
almost
fuck with
burned
spiders.
down my house because of spiders before. Like so, every time they bring out spider things. Go ahead.
I have a snake. I have a little ball python, and if I pull her out of her cage because
go across the room.
Phoenix wants to pet on her or whatever, and he will literally get up off the couch and go to the other side of the room.
I've screamed like a girl and called my wife to come kill it. A spider. Like I'll do snakes, reptiles, rats, mice. None of that shit bothers me.
I like turtles. That's the only reptile I like.
Oh, you would have hated my snake.
I had a brother who I was in school and he was out of school at this point. But he literally did not go into his room the entire day that I was at school because there was a spider on his ceiling.
Yeah, I ain't going in there.
And he was waiting for me to get home so that I could kill it.
I like literally burnt the whole wall up in the house because I was using hairspray and a lighter to try to kill the spider, and the whole wall caught on fire. I had to put it out. Yeah, it was terrible. So, Kim, what is the one thing that just gives you the EBGBs?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with spiders.
Yeah.
they're just not my thing.
Nope.
We were at the pool over the weekend, and my husband looked at me and he's like, just stand very still. So I didn't even think about it. I just stood there. There was a spider trying to crawl into my ear.
No. Yeah, CJ, if you don't like snakes, you would have hated my snake.
I'm breathing real bad right now. That's just a level of anxiety and fear that I don't need to think about. Thanks, Kim. Not going to sleep tonight.
It was rough.
That's freaking amazing.
Can you imagine? They say the average person eats 7 spiders a year in their sleep.
Why?
Why? I found out to be a myth.
You guys, I gotta go. My son's awake.
All right, everybody. We're gonna take off. Bye, Kim. We're getting ready to take off here. I just wanted to bring some little because
Wait, I haven't been able to say that I can't relate. Like I've had snakes and spiders as pets, and my nieces have lizards, and
yeah, none of that shit bothers me except spiders. If you got a spider, then I got a problem.
I just like turtles.
Y'all would have tripped out about my snake. The last time I measured him, he was 9'6" python. He got so big that I had a giant cage in my house, and he would push the lid off and come climb up in my waterbed with me and sleep with me. He got to the point where he'd get out the cage so much, and I had a big cage. It was like probably 4 foot by. It was like 4 by 4 by like 7. No, the roof wasn't. It was like 4 by 4 by 5. It was a big cage, and he'd push the lid off no matter what I put. I put a center block on top. He'll push it off. He'd come get in the bed with me, but he got so big and he just kept getting out so much that I just cut a hole in the bottom of the door so he could go outside like a doggy door. And he'd go outside and then he'd come back and he'd get stuck because he couldn't get back through the door because he done ate somebody's cat or some, whatever it was he ate. Yeah, Slick was cool as hell. And then one day he left and he never came back. So then I moved like 2 years later. So I figured he was dead. Somebody called animal control on him or something.
We had one so big that we had to feed her in the bathtub. She was a red tail.
I just let him do whatever. One time he tried to choke me though. He got in the bed and I rolled over on him. He tried to squeeze me.
Star Wars team leader had a gator that was 6 foot. You know what, you guys are a lot of ballsy people.
Reptiles don't bother me, but
My
you
uncle
take
had
a
a gator.
spider the size, you take it could be the smallest spider in the world. I will run like I will run. Ants, like working for the trash service, you will see maggots more than you see anything in your entire cockroaches, bed bugs. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. Bed bugs do bother me because we got bed bugs one year when I lived in Denver, and that is the worst shit ever. And they are so freaking hard. We had to like literally, this is how we got rid of them. We set off bed bug bombs in the house. We turned the heater on 90. We turned the dryer on. I opened the dryer door, stuck something in there, turned the dryer on. It was like 150 degrees in my house. And that's the only way we could get rid of them. And that shit sucked because I'm like super allergic to them shits, man. They damn bite me. Like my wife and then they get bit, they wouldn't even know. I get bit, I'm itching for like 3 days. I had like big scars on my legs because I would just scratch the shit out. Like that. Bed bugs, that's the worst shit ever. That shit is so bad. That's like,
Oh,
yeah, but that
I
shit
do
is
have
terrible.
one little kind of heebie-jeebie thing. I don't necessarily like clowns. I can watch it. I love it. I love Pennywise. I love, the original Pennywise. I kind of dig the remakes. Skarsgård did a really good job with them. I have, Pennywise tattoos, all of that. But I like killer clowns from outer space. But for some reason, like if there is a clown in my face, I have to like grab my hands and put them down or have somebody grab me because I will swing.
I will go into a fetal position. Like literally, I don't do clowns at all. Like, and the crazy thing is my dad for the Shriner brothers, my dad owned a body shop and he took all their golf carts and he painted them. So we got free tickets to go. I'm like a grown man with my child in my arms and one of them came up behind me and I know the guy. I've met him and everything, but I didn't know he was in his clown outfit. He tapped me on the shoulder. I fell into a fetal position. Like, literally, like, oh God, I'm going to die. Like, yeah, I don't do clowns.
I got kicked out of.
We ran into
what we have here. What we have here is called a haunted world. It's a big old attraction. It's a couple acres, and this clown kept like tapping my shoulder, and they're not allowed to touch you. And I think he just didn't give a shit that day, and he kept tapping my shoulder, and I kept telling him, "Oh boy," I was like, "You keep touching me, man, I'm gonna break your nose." And the last time he had like gripped my shoulder, and I turned around, and I hauled off, and I just shattered his nose, and I ended up getting kicked out. I wasn't allowed in there for like a year, like. It was just the beginning of the season where you could start going to it. They had just opened it up. I wasn't allowed back until the following year. And then I was like, I don't really care. I don't go to these things. My grandmother used to run them, so it doesn't really bug me much. People aren't as scary anymore. What's real scary is just a regular human.
That's people. I am fascinated by like serial killers and psychology and all of that behind them. It doesn't scare me. Like creepy stuff. I love creepy stuff. The paranormal, the murder documentaries, all of it. Like it fascinates me on a psychological level. So everybody thinks I'm crazy because they're like, oh, this person scares me and this person's terrifying and this blah blah. And I was like, I just think they're really cool. Like not to the point where I idolize them and think that they did a good job, but like they're okay.
Chris, like. Dude, I've seen shit that will blow your mind when it comes to paranormal shit. That would fuck you up, to like have you fucked up. Like some shit that I've seen done in churches and stuff back when I was going to school for ministry and shit like that. Yeah, when like I seen shit and then I've seen shit that, you know what I'm saying, and like really everyday, you know what I'm saying, type of life that would blow your freaking mind. Like you'd be like, what the hell is going on? Like I've seen some shit in my life that I don't. Like, I try very hard to forget about that shit because there's shit that when people say that there ain't such things as paranormal and God and all that stuff, I'll be like, shit, I'll argue with them in a quick instance because I've seen stuff that is just unexplainable, like truly unexplainable.
Yeah, and the fear of the unknown is a very rational fear.
Oh, what the?
Well, it's like, okay, so
yes,
check this out.
Chris, I have watched Nuke's top 5.
We were going to a church, me, my wife, and when my kids was little. And the pastor there, her name was Yvonne McCoy. A wonderful woman. She was awesome. Well, me and her son was we was buddies, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we supposed to be doing right shit, but we drinking and, you know, we young. We're not really paying attention to, like, life and everything and doing the right thing. But her daughter was going to school for ministry at the time. Well, she was sleeping with a married man. And this woman, we were having a barbecue at their house, and they got to praying. She got to praying. And I'm talking about not a cloud in the sky. All of a sudden, the wind blows and breaks this branch off, and the shit falls and busts her daughter in the head. And she was like, what are you doing that you ain't supposed to be doing? That was just one of the instances I've seen. I've seen people, I mean, like, I've seen shit. I lived in a house that we were all sitting in the living room. We were all watching. I can't remember what we was watching now. I was younger. And then in the kitchen, the faucet just turned on by itself. And we're like, what the hell? So we go turn it off. And we're all just sitting there. And at first I thought, okay, I'm just high. You know what I'm saying? I've been smoking. So I was thinking I was just high. And the shit happened again. And then every time we would get to doing shit, like, you know, we'd be like having like watching movies, or we're all in the backyard or shit. Like, if there was too many people in the house, like, we figured out if it was any more than 6 people, the faucets in all the houses, the faucets would just turn on for no reason. And we called a plumber out, and they were like, well, it's just pressure, you know. So we replaced all the faucets, but it still happened. It was like, oh, it's just old faucets and stuff. But anytime we had more than 6 people in the house, it would happen. That was some freaky ass shit. Like, and it was only if we had, you know, 5 extra people in the house, it wouldn't happen. But as soon as it was 6 people in the house or more, it would start happening. It was like whatever the ghost or whatever it was in the house didn't like that many people being in the house.
Well, even here, like, even at the apartment, like, there's been times, I remember I was working at the bar one night, and I get a message saying that Phoenix is staring at the corner with her ears being covered by her hands, just screaming, stop talking to me, stop talking to me. They won't stop talking to me. Like, that's
because kids are more of a conduit. Kids and dogs.
Yep. I had the kitchen light over here flicker, and we were sitting there yelling at it to leave it alone. Just stop messing with my shit. And it would flicker like it was testing us. And
we had a guy.
It was kind of humorous.
When my kids was little, we had a guy, George, in our house. And one day I walked into the back room, and my daughter sitting there, my youngest daughter, is talking to somebody in her room. She's in there by herself. I said, who are you talking to? She said, George. At first I was like, who the fuck is George? You know, you think I'm imaginary friend or whatever, you know. And I think she was like 2 or 3 at this time. So I started thinking about, like, who the fuck is George? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would make a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old just come up with this name George? So then one night, me and my wife, our bedroom was in the basement of the house, and the kids' rooms was upstairs. We were in the basement, and I'm laying in bed, and I wake up, and I see somebody standing at the edge of the bed. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just tripping. You know, they say when you wake up, you'll see shadow people and shit like that. It's like reflections of your dreams. But then the bread, he sat down and the bread compressed. And I jumped up and I was like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden it was gone. Like, shit like that. But my dog, our old dog, so we had a dog named Boo. He was a boxer in Colorado. And the dog died. Like, my sister brought over some puppies, and they had parvo, and they died. And then he ended up dying. He was like 10 years old. But we were here. And we had moved I live in Missouri, and, you know, we were sitting here, and I'm looking over. We don't have no dog. And I'm looking over, and I hear the whimpering, and I'm like, Boo, shut up. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up, what the fuck? And I was sitting right here. I was getting ready to record one of the Star Wars in 10 podcasts, and he was literally, I seen him. I looked over, and I seen him whining on the floor at the top of the stairs, right here at the top of, because my studio's, if you go up my stairs, the studio's off to the left. And I'm looking right there and see this dog. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, that shit freaked me out. But they say people like when dogs and stuff like that they'll follow you because they want to keep protecting you even though that they're gone.
Yeah. Luna will.
I've seen all kind of
Luna
shit in my.
Randomly growl at the old house when I moved out of my parents' house. I moved in with my sister, and there was a room that was right across the hall from mine, and it was my niece's room. And they stopped wanting to go in there. The dogs, we had a gaggle of dogs, like we had a small army of dogs, and they would go upstairs, but they would not go anywhere near that room. They would go immediately into my room or to the other room, and then eventually they stopped going upstairs at all. They refused. And it got to the point where I was getting such a bad vibe off the room that I wouldn't leave the room if it was nighttime. I would not do it. I was like, you know what? Not today.
Hey, CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Kick sand. Oh, I'm just fucking with you.
Pound sand. Kick
sand.
Rocks.
Oh, you
chase
kick sand.
park cars.
Because if Vader ever came after me, I'm not pounding no sand. I'm kicking some sand at his ass. I'm not pounding shit. Pounding sand sounds like you're having sex with sand. Like you're pounding on the sand, like that. No, kick sand.
Yeah, no. My dad used to say this. That would be pound sand, kick rocks, chase park cars. I don't give a fuck what you do, just do it. Like, and he'd say it all the time, and I'd be like,
"All right,
chase park cars."
We done got way off the topic. Plus,
Okay,
I need to go to bed, y'all. So. All right, guys, everybody, peace. May the force be with you. Do all the stuff that you're supposed to do with the channel and all that crap, the subscribe and thumbs up and all that weird shit. All right, we love you. Peace. May the force be with you. Oh, click the button.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Kim Lanise, Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.